What's up, everybody? King of Fomo here, coming at you with your daily crypto update. Today we're going to be talking about Dogecoin and making a price target, an entry/exit point for Dogecoin, and kind of where it can go in the future. Now, I did just make a video about Dogecoin a couple days ago, and it's doing pretty much exactly what I said it was going to do. Why Dogecoin is about to supermoon was the title of the video, and it was just about how the acquisition of Twitter from Elon Musk, this was a given. This is some of the easiest way to make money in crypto, period. Like, when things like this happen, you can pretty much just predict what the future is going to be. And we will talk about this, but full disclosure, guys, even with these predictions and these targets that I'm going to make, I've been dead wrong in the past a lot of times, so just do be careful. I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, so just take everything I say with a grain of salt. Your opinion is just as good as my opinion and everyone else's opinion out there, I promise you. So let's get straight into it. First, let's do a review of some of the comments on my last video. Let's just read them all because there's not that many of them. So this guy says, Super Doge can supermoon, it burns coins every transaction, and Twitter is partnering with Binance. Super Doge is a Binance chain coin, you never know. So we'll talk a little bit about other dog coins in here. They'll all probably do pretty darn well for a short period of time, but at the end of the day, it's really Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and maybe just one more that do good for a significant period of time, and like I would say as a semi-quasi safe bet. These other lower market cap coins, they're higher risk but higher reward a lot of the times. SHIB is not a coin, it's a token. Only Doge is a coin. That's a technical point that I think very, very few people actually care about. At the end of the day, it's about gains and profits for most people, and that doesn't matter about tokens or coins. You don't know what you're talking about, get informed first. Well, please, Democles, let me know, inform me. Leave a comment on this video and let me know what I'm saying wrong. As long as Floki gets some FOMO afterwards so I can get rid of my bags, lol. Well, lucky you. I think Floki is another top gainer, so you might be able to actually get a profit if you have some bags and you are low on your price buy-in point. So we'll look at Floki a little bit in this video too. So Dogecoin sitting at 10 cents right now. Can Dogecoin get to $1? We'll talk about that in this video as well. Do you want to wait? Is that a good kind of price target, $1? And that's the thing. We're going to be all over the place in here, but Dogecoin is a coin that it has nothing to do with technology. It has nothing to do with adoption. It has nothing to do with even Twitter that much. It has everything to do with speculation. And I mentioned this in my last video. The more speculation and the more community rallying you have behind Dogecoin, the higher it can go. And I think the more speculation you have, the sky just becomes the limit for Dogecoin. But with that being said as well, Dogecoin does have a top. It does have a limit that it can reach. So we'll kind of cover that as well in this video. But let's go ahead and talk about dollar Dogecoin next before we get into that. So Dogecoin currently has a market cap of $14.4 billion. To get to $1 right now or in the near future, it would need to have an upside of 8x. You need to go up by 8x from where it is right now. Now, we've seen stranger things happen. We've seen Dogecoin go up 10x before in the past in a very short period of time. Is 8x possible? It's a lot harder to do when you're at the level of market cap that it is right now, and that would put it at a market cap of $136 billion, which would put it, I believe, over USDT, which is, I think, slightly unrealistic when it comes to kind of where it can go in like the next day or so. But can we see another 2x to $28 billion? I think yes, you can definitely see this coin. We've seen it go right below BNB before, so maybe even $50 billion for Dogecoin, which would be close to about the 2.5x is possible, I think, in the short period of time. But I do think that people should be a little bit more realistic when it comes to making price predictions and targets when it comes to Dogecoin. And this is another thing, guys. I don't know if I said this at the beginning of the video. I don't own any Dogecoin right now. Like I said, I knew it was going to go up, but I just don't really mess with meme coins that much. So you guys have to kind of come up with your own strategy, knowing that I'm not going to be doing any of the stuff that I'm talking about because I don't have any Dogecoin. But nonetheless, I do think that coming up with a strategy is a way better plan than following the horde. Now, what does that mean? The horde is going to say exactly what you should be doing, and they're almost always wrong at the end of the day. So the horde is probably going to say something like, let's get Doge to $1. And the last time the horde said that, let's go ahead, I think this might have been 2 years ago, so let's go ahead and max this chart out. But Doge, we don't even have to max the chart out. Doge's previous all-time high was about 73 cents, so it never did touch $1. And that was kind of the rallying cry for Dogecoin when it was doing extremely well before. Dogecoin to $1, Dogecoin to $1. First it was Dogecoin to 10 cents, and they got to 10 cents, it got to 1 cent, it got beyond that, but it never got to $1. So people that were holding on to that horde mentality of Dogecoin's going to go to $1, I'm going to hold and I'm going to sell at $1, or I'll sell it a little higher than $1, or maybe I'll sell at 95 cents. If you're going to follow the horde, you're almost always going to be left in the dust. And that's what I think happened to a lot of people. They might have bought in at a weird point, or they might have just waited too long and then experienced that massive, massive crash right after 73 cents down to less than half of that within, I think, a couple of weeks. So do keep that in mind. I don't think that setting that price target of $1 is the smartest thing to do. Now, this time, things might be different. We might get Dogecoin to $1 and a little bit higher, and then, your horde mentality is going to say something different. Dogecoin to $10, to $5, to $2, and they're going to be dead wrong again. So just keep that in mind. I think a better, more realistic approach to this is just doing a comparison of volumes, because that really is kind of, it was a few different things. It was tweets and other bad news about crypto, but it's a good indicator to tell you when the party's over. And like I said before, Dogecoin is not a coin that's coming out with any new tech where you have a launch date for that tech and then sell the news event happens. Dogecoin is really just the type of coin where the community rallies as much as it can until it can't anymore, and until the whole Jenga tower tumbles over because it's too high. Before, our top volumes for Dogecoin, if we look here, we had a volume of $10 billion. I think upwards of $15 billion. And I think it went even higher than that. I think it had a volume of like $48 billion. Well, maybe not $48 billion. Let me zoom in here and see exactly what the numbers is, if my computer decides to cooperate with me right now. But nonetheless, let me just look at this before we kind of move on. Yeah, a volume of close to $40 billion from here. And I think this is the all-time high volume, close to $50 billion of 1 day's worth of trading for Dogecoin. Now, it might not be the smartest idea to jump in and say, well, if it did 40 billion before, it can do 80 billion this time. My goal is 50 billion. Personally, if I were holding Dogecoin, I would have put a safe bet, and I told you guys this in my last video when we were below $1 billion worth of trading volume. I said I would be surprised if Dogecoin does not hit $10 billion worth of trading volume within the next couple days. And I think once it does, things start getting a little bit difficult when you get to that amount of volume, because you start getting mega whales, massive whales starting to manipulate things. And when they start buying in and start trying to make a profit, they're almost always going to make a profit, and they're going to swing the price dramatically, and you might be in that swing. So just be careful when it does get to that point. But to get to that point, it has to get to peak popularity or close to peak popularity. And I don't think that $5 billion in trading volume is peak popularity at all. I think that $10 billion is going to be a point where we're either going to see a pullback from $10 billion in total volume, or we're going to see a massive rise, and we're going to see $20 to $30 billion in volume, and then an even higher price. So we'll see what happens. And you guys can watch my last video. I'm not going to rehash a lot of the same points. It does depend on kind of what Elon Musk does and talks about with Twitter. And I mentioned in that last video, just to quickly summarize my final point, was the fact that if he says nothing at all about Dogecoin for a longer period of time, I think that's going to be the best thing for the price of Dogecoin in the long run. If he makes an announcement, positive or negative, then you have your news event, and then your news event, post-news event, is always selling. So, even if it pumps another 30-35% after Elon Musk says, hey, we're integrating Doge into Twitter, and this will happen in 4 months, I think that even if that was the news, you'd have a slight pump, but then you'd have a dump after that until that news comes to fruition, and then we have another cycle if it happens 3 or 4 months from now, and Dogecoin is integrated into Twitter. Anyway, that's my take on Dogecoin, the price target right there. So there's not really a price target. Honestly, the sky's the limit when it comes to Dogecoin. Who knows what's going to happen? We might be at the limit right now at $5 billion. Like I said, I've been dead wrong before, but I would be surprised. I'd be genuinely surprised if Dogecoin did not hit $10 billion of trading volume, because the last thing I'll mention is I don't think the general public really knows that Dogecoin is pumping right now, and that's what brought Dogecoin to $40 to $50 billion in trading volume, is when the general public found out, wow, this coin is pumping so much, let's get in on the meme. And then the Jenga tower tumbled after the rich money bags saw that the general public jumped in. So just keep that in mind. That is everything for today, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. If you want to catch my videos earlier than everyone else here on YouTube, follow me over there on Patreon. I'm probably going to release this video maybe about 6 to 8 hours earlier on Patreon here, because this is probably time sensitive, and the price of Doge is probably going to be very different if you're watching this video on YouTube. So I won't put the time delay that much. But for those of you who do become my supporters in Patreon, you'll get access to my videos immediately after I'm done recording them. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. If you make some comments, I'll talk about them in my next Dogecoin video if I remember. Peace out.